Lagos, the nation's commercial capital. This is the news at 10. Live from Channels Television. Reporting tonight, Anne Waodo.
Hello and welcome. Tonight, Northwest All Progressives Congress stakeholders meet in Kaduna, endorse President Bola Tinubu for second term in office. Bauchi State government flags off construction of an oil and gas academy in Al-Kaleri local government area of the state. The Senate engages stakeholders on ways to harness technology to improve security situation in Nigeria. And at least 9 people have been killed and 7 others injured in a Russian drone attack on a civilian bus in northwestern Ukraine.
And on business, the federal government approves conditional cash transfer for 2.3 million households in the country as it commences revalidation of the National Social Register.
On sports news tonight, Crystal Palace turns Manchester City to win the FA Cup for the first time in their history.
Tonight, we begin with politics, and it's an endorsement from members of the All Progressives Congress in Nigeria's Northwest region, who have now passed a vote of confidence on President Bola Tinubu, endorsing him for a second term in office. The leaders of the party in the region, who made this known during a zonal meeting in Kaduna State, described the president's administration as progressive and inclusive leadership.
Key stakeholders and leaders of the All Progressives Congress from Nigeria's Northwest region gather in Kaduna to discuss the state of the party and the development initiatives in the zone under the administration of President Bola Tinubu. Those in attendance include the Speaker of the House of Representatives, Right Honorable Tajuddin Abbas, the Deputy President of the Senate, Senator Barrow Jibrin, governors of the party from the region, led by Governor Obasani of Kaduna State, the National Chairman of the APC, Mr. Abdullahi Ganduje, former governors, serving and former ministers, serving and former federal and state lawmakers, and other key APC stakeholders. Governor Sani sets the agenda of the meeting by highlighting the efforts of the president to develop the Northwest region and makes a case for a second term for the president.
President Tinubu has not only stabilized the security situation, he has boosted agriculture in the Northwest with unprecedented interventions. The Northwest has also got in top position at the federal level. For the first time in recent times, the Northwest zone has 12 ministers in the current cabinet. I'm happy most of the ministers are here today with us. Let us therefore consolidate on our gains by mobilizing our people to support Mr. President for a second term in office.
The meeting also provides a platform for the party members to assess the performance of the president, as well as membership drive ahead of the elections.
Since the beginning of this administration that began 2 years ago, our party in the Northwest, and indeed in the entire country, has been getting stronger and stronger. It has been waxing stronger and stronger, getting more formidable. People coming to the party in their thousands on a daily basis. We are praying and we are urging that Mr. President will continue to be our president come 2027. We are not only praying for them because we want them to continue, but we believe with continuity they will become much better and better in governance. I want to appeal on behalf of the members of the National Assembly. The continuity of membership of National Assembly, senators and House of Rep members will go a long way in giving us better and more effective representation come 2027.
Some federal lawmakers in the region recently joined the party, and the leadership of the party believes more will join, especially state governors.
From our records, the number is increasing almost on a daily basis. We are so proud of this. And governor of Akwa Ibom State is also coming into our party. We held several discussions. In fact, very soon, he will make an announcement that all his legislators are coming into APC. All his executive members, all the party structure of PDP will dissolve and come into our great party, the APC.
The meeting deliberates on other issues concerning the region and the 2027 general elections. One of the key resolutions is a vote of confidence for the administration of President Tinubu.
The meeting endorsed and passed a vote of confidence on Mr. President for the 2027 presidential election. We affirm our loyalty to the APC and pledge full support for President Tinubu's vision to deliver prosperity, equity, and lasting change for all Nigerians.
The stakeholders are confident that the president is committed to addressing the security challenge in the zone.
I was there last time, but...
Meanwhile, the National Secretary of the All Progressives Congress, the APC Senator Jibola Bashiru, has advised the People's Democratic Party to consider registering as a new political party if its ongoing leadership crisis has eroded its structure and its relevance. Senator Bashiru made this remark in Osogbo, the Osun State capital, while receiving defectors from the PDP into the APC. The defection coincides with the monthly general meeting of the APC in Osogbo, the local government, with stakeholders from all wards and units gathered at Alekuwodo to deliberate on the party's progress.
It's not possible by constitutional provision for Nigeria to be a one-party state because Section 221 of the Constitution allows people to vie for offices using instrumentality of political party, and there are procedures for registration of the political party. So if PDP today, I believe that it has become so weakened, so battered, that it is no longer a viable mechanism for election, it should go and register as another political entity. But as far as we are concerned, we are committed to building a party that is viral and that is resonating with the mass of the Nigerian people. The quantum increase in the allocation to the state has not actually reflected in terms of qualitative governance in Osun State. So the message is that our party stalwarts should work together to ensure that come 2026, our party, the APC, take over leadership of the state, and in 2027, we vote en masse for Asiwaju Bola Ahmed Tinubu.
We have so many aspirants whatsoever, but as we are appealing to them, because our party have internal organism in order to resolve any crisis. But the day of God, the party will come out with one candidate that is going to face the other parties and win the election.
And now to the South-South region. In Delta State, the Jaw and Urobo communities of Warri Federal Constituency are asking the federal government to safeguard the integrity of the Supreme Court-mandated electoral delineation process and not fall for any form of interference that could compromise INEC's independence or distort the demographic balance of the Warri Federal Constituency. They were speaking during the 2025 Boroughs Day celebration in Warri, Delta State, expressing strong support for INEC's efforts and calling for neutrality and fairness from all stakeholders.
It's the 2025 Borough Day celebration in Warri community, where leaders from the Jaw and Urobo ethnic groups reaffirmed their support for the ongoing delineation of electoral wards across the 3 Warri local government areas. Following the Supreme Court's 2022 directive for a fresh delineation of electoral wards in Warri North, South and Southwest local government areas, the Jaw and Urobo communities have publicly commended INEC for what they describe as a thorough and transparent field exercise. They emphasize that the process is vital for credible future elections and must be seen through without obstruction. However, the communities have raised concern over what they perceive as undue pressure on the presidency federal institutions and key political figures to influence the outcome of the process. They caution against actions that could compromise INEC's independence or give the impression of ethnic favoritism.
It should be seen from what it is, an opportunist move and cross attempt at ethnic baiting. We believe the President and the First Lady, with solid democratic credentials, will not fall for this ill-conceived and mischievous lure to reduce them. We are confident that the President will not learn to their mischief, as that could be paramount to total disregard for the Constitution, because the President should understand everyone. Of course, we all voted for Mr. President, and we expect Mr. President to see everybody as his own constituent.
Highlighting the need for fairness in the ongoing process, the Urobos also expressed their stand on the matter.
Stand with the judge on this, and we hope anybody who has issues should go to court and follow due process to get whatever they are looking for. But we are satisfied with it. We stand with INEC, with the Urobos, we stand with the judge on this issue, and God bless Nigeria, God bless everyone.
They also expressed confidence that President Bola Tinubu will not fall prey to pressure from the other ethnic nationalities to alter the report as presented by INEC.
Follow the law code, and today we got justice. And we want to, in the same way, not advise. If for any reason anybody is not happy with what the Independent National Electoral Commission is doing in the Warri Federal constituency, we want to advise and plead that they follow the same. It's done. It's done. Finally, and most importantly, the job people as today, we cannot be intimidated by any ethnic. We are committed and respected the laws of the Federal Republic of Nigeria. And once again, we want to thank the President, His Excellency, Ahmed Tinubu, to do the right thing for justice to be done.
As they mark this year's celebration in honor of a man who fought for the peace and unity of the Ijaw nation, they are hopeful that the federal government will uphold the orders of the Supreme Court judgment and protect the neutrality of INEC's work.
As a state of emergency rolls on in Yobe State, reactions have continued to trail that situation in the state. But this time, a faction of the Yobe State chapter of the National Youth Council have all but called for an extension of the state of emergency in the state. Speaking in Port Harcourt, the state capital, the factional chairman, Sabari Bani, says the people of Rivers should not be made to suffer for the political contest between the suspended Governor Siminalayi Fubara and the suspended Yobe State House of Assembly members. According to him, this window should be used to sort out their differences, and if they fail, then the council will be left with no choice but to call for an extension to the current state of emergency.
I want to use this opportunity to commend the President for stepping into the Rivers crisis and declaring state of emergency as supported by the National House of Assembly for initial 6 months. We are saying that the executive, led by Siminalayi Fubara, and the assembly, led by Honorable Martin Samuel Chike, should seize this initial period of 6 months to reconcile their differences so that governance and democratic governance can return to the states after this initial 6 months. Because if this is not done, Rivers youth will not be held liable, as we will call on the President to extend the emergency rule. We are also saying that for the peace process to be holistic and to be complete, those people responsible for answering actions, burning down our assembly complex and other government facilities should be brought to book. Because if this is not done, the government or the people who are responsible for the peace process would have set a wrong precedent for others to follow. If this thing is nipped in the bud by ensuring that those people that have been allegedly accused, appointed one way or the other to be responsible, should be arrested and brought to book. That is the only way lasting peace can be achieved. Have you not been so? Yes. Is that not the voice of Rivers youth?
In part two, after the break, President Bola Tinubu is in Rome, Italy, to join other world leaders for the inauguration of His Holiness Pope Leo XIV. Please join us again. Welcome back. If you've just joined us, you're watching the news at 10 live on Channels Television. A reminder of our main stories. Northwest All Progressives Congress stakeholders meet in Kaduna, endorse President Bola Tinubu for a second term in office. Bauchi State government flags off the construction of Oil and Gas Academy in Alkaleri local government area of the state. Senate engages stakeholders on ways to harness technology to improve security situation in Nigeria. And at least 9 people have been killed and 7 others injured in a Russian drone attack on a civilian bus in northeastern Ukraine. Let's move away from politics. We head to Bauchi State, where the government has flagged off the construction of an oil and gas academy in Alkaleri local government area of the state. And this construction comes after the discovery of the exploration of crude oil in commercial quantity in Kolmani, which is a community in Alkaleri local government area. The Oil and Gas Academy, which is the first of its kind in northern Nigeria, promises to position Bauchi State as a significant player in Nigeria's oil and gas industry, building a highly skilled local workforce which is capable of meeting national and international industry demands.
Indeed, today's occasion marks a significant milestone in our administration quest to develop vocational education and enhance youth and women empowerment in oil and gas sector of the country. The academy is therefore meant to provide the skilled manpower required to fast-track oil and gas exploration in the Kolmani oil field and other areas in the country. It is also an indication of our unwavering commitment to impact vocational and technical skills to our teeming youth to make them more productive in line with the economic empowerment and skill development program of our administration. Let me at this juncture also state that since the establishment of this academy, which currently operates at a temporary site located within the premises of Abubakar Tatari Ali Polytechnic Bauchi, the state government has taken various measures to ensure that it realizes its core mandate.
The Senate is exploring ways to harness technology and improve the security situation in Nigeria. The majority leader, Senator Okoyemi Bamidele, stated this during a high-level meeting on Cybersecurity Act, organized by the Senate Committee on ICT and Cybersecurity in Abuja. The lawmaker calls for the full implementation of the act to reflect the digital realities in the present-day Nigeria.
The nation faces evolving and complex security threats, from cyber fraud and terrorism to kidnapping and organized crimes. These dangers exploit the very digital tools that drive our socio-economic progress. The government's renewed hope agenda, under the leadership of His Excellency President Bola Ahmed Tinubu, GCFR, recognizes both the promise and perils of technology. Today's session is therefore a timely prelude to the National Security Summit resolution recently passed by the Senate, where we hope to develop a comprehensive and inclusive strategy to safeguard Nigerians through policy and legislative frameworks, public-private sector partnerships, capacity building, technology innovation, and citizen engagement. Given the ubiquitous nature of ICT in our individual lives and socio-economic development of our great nation, any discussion of national development and security must necessarily start and have security in the digital space as the kernel. It is therefore our expectations that this interactive session will produce immediate actionable recommendations to assist in our shared resolve to combat insecurity of all forms in the country.
And now to infrastructure in the Federal Capital Territory. The Minister of the FCT, Nyesom Wike, says that under the Renewed Hope agenda, President Bola Tinubu promised to take development to all area councils of the FCT, a promise which has now been fulfilled. The minister, who went on an inspection tour of some of these ongoing projects in the nation's capital, expressed satisfaction at the job done on a road realization project in Ushafa area under Buhari Area Council. Mr. Wike also says that President Tinubu will commission some projects in the area councils to mark his second year in office.
I did say we are monitoring the calendar. I did say that if Mr. President is wisdom based on the subject to his confidence, I suspect after the summer, I suspect that, so that we can have our own 2 weeks. All the projects will not be commissioned by Mr. President. I mean, others will also do like schools and the rest of them. But basically, the major ones that touch the satellite towns and the major ones that touch the cities will think that Mr. President will. I pleaded and correct to Mr. President 1 or 2 of the rules in the satellite town. Mr. President should be able to visit, so that the people will see Mr. President appreciate him for the job that he has done. I mean, to remember people, all of us know how this place was, and see how it looks today. By the time all the street lights are being completed, it will be a different thing. And that's why people will no longer go and say how they will live in the city. From here to the city is how many minutes? Up to 35 minutes. And that's the sense of, decongesting the city, making people to stay within their satellite time. But if you provide the amenities, nobody will be interested in moving to the cities.
As Catholics around the world gear up for the new Pope's inauguration tomorrow, Sunday, May the 18th, President Bola Tinubu has arrived in Rome, Italy, to join other world leaders at the solemn mass, marking the beginning of the pontificate of His Holiness Pope Leo XIV, the 267th Bishop of Rome and the new leader of the Roman Catholic Church. President Tinubu was received at the Mario de Bernardo Military Airport by the Minister of State for Foreign Affairs, Ambassador Bianca Odumegwu-Ojukwu, officials from the Vatican City and the Nigerian Embassy after the plane touched down at 6 p.m. local time. President Tinubu is in Rome to honor the new Pope's invitation. The Pope had underscored the need for President Tinubu's physical presence at what he describes as this moment of particular importance for the Catholic Church and the world, afflicted by many tensions and conflicts. President Tinubu's entourage includes the Archbishop of Owerri and President of the Catholic Bishops' Conference of Nigeria, Archbishop Lucius Ugoji, Archbishop Ignatius Kagama of Abuja, and Alfred Adewale Martins of Lagos, Bishop of Sokoto Diocese, Matthew Kuka. To security matters now, as part of efforts to strengthen military collaboration between the United Kingdom and Nigerian navies, an international delegation from the Royal College of Defence Studies based in London has paid the Western Naval Command a visit for a study tour meant to give insight to threats of global security stability and prosperity. The 16-man team from 11 countries was received by the flag officer commanding the Western Naval Command, Rear Admiral Michael Omen, who described the visit as an offshoot of a long-standing relationship that has benefited personnel of the Nigerian Navy.
The relationship between the UK and Nigeria is strong, and particularly the Royal Navy and the Nigerian Navy is one that goes back many, many decades. So it's a great privilege to be here today. We are here looking at various, as we have done throughout the year, threats to global security, stability and prosperity, ranging from all kinds of subjects, including climate change, population growth, the rise of artificial intelligence. But of course, one of those is how nations deal with criminality. So it's important again to come and to hear the experience from Western Naval Command in dealing with some of those issues.
As you know, we have so much going on in the Gulf of Guinea, and we'll be able to feed them in on what we're doing to curb all forms of criminality, organized crime within that region, because this helps to facilitate trade and ensure that the economic well-being of Nigeria is guaranteed. So we're very excited to have the Admiral, who is leading the team, and we're going to interact with the students, exchange, ideas, and that way, we maintain the standards in naval operations and generally international collaborations.
Meanwhile, the commander of the Nigerian Navy ship Baycraft, Commodore Paul Nimiel, is seeking a hand collaboration with the Lagos State government and the Ministry of Government and Water Resources ahead of the Jora Marine Bridge cleanup exercise planned by the Nigerian Navy from May the 24th through to the 1st of June 2025. Commodore Nimiel made this known during a courtesy visit to the State Commissioner for Environment and Water Resources, Mr. Tokunbo Wahab.
Beginning from the 24th of this month, the base intends to carry out an environmental exercise. We intend to clean up from the Ijora under the bridge towards Marine Beach and all the environs in that area. We are mobilized as a unit, but we will also require assistance from all the agencies under your office that are tied to clean up the environment. The drainages, like they are blocked. The bridge itself, it's under the bridge is messed up. There are a lot of touts and hoodlums that reside under the bridge and do all sorts of nefarious activities. They're into drugs. It's just a mess. So we're requesting for your assistance. On that day, we intend to start by 6 in the morning to probably finish at about 11. The Navy will be celebrating her 69th birthday on the 1st of June. And we're going to have a lot of visitors from outside the country and outside the state coming to the base. So that was one of the main reasons why we decided that this cleanup must be done, and after that must be sustained.
And on the part of the Commissioner for Environment and Water Resources, Mr. Tokunbo Wahab, he assured the naval team of all necessary support that will help them bring the glory of their Papa access back.
As a state, this is one of those things we look up to. We believe we are here because of the citizens. And whatever we seek to do for the betterment of the society, it's easier when we have collaborations from other agencies or arms of government. For those who are familiar with Apapa, Apapa used to be the elitist of the elite place, not even Ikoyi. It used to be Apapa. Whatever happened that we dropped the ball and we allowed it go south is something that should be questioned some way along the line. And we must take ownership of it. So when you bring a clear vision to take care of that ecosystem, it behoves us to rally around you and support it. Be rest assured, Loma will supply all the trucks you need. The MD of Loma is here, Dr. Badikeshi. Kai will give you the ground men and the backup. Laswamo will be there. That's the wastewater agency. And then the PS Drainage Service also will deploy men. Those men will come in and they will be from before that 24th. They'll come and look at, they'll come and scope the drainage system. I know we've done some work there inside the Papa, but they may have to come and look at this again and see how they can disilt those blocked drainages.
Still ahead on the news at 10, federal government approves conditional cash transfer for 2.3 million households in the country as it commences revalidation of the National Social Register. And that's in business news. Please join us again. Welcome back. Let's head to Yobe State now, where the government, in partnership with the group Lake Chad Peace and Development Initiative, has unveiled a 5 strategic plan which will provide humanitarian support and means of livelihood to returnees of Boko Haram conflict. Well, this strategic plan, which has been unveiled in Damaturu, the Yobe State capital, is aimed at mobilizing stakeholders and resources towards meeting the humanitarian needs of these returnees in a dignified manner.
Years after being forced from their homes by conflict, many internally displaced persons in Yobe State, northeast Nigeria, have begun returning to their ancestral communities, resilient and full of hope, despite lacking basic necessities like shelter, food, and medical care. To ease their reintegration and provide sustainable support, the Yobe State government is joining hands with the Lake Chad Peace and Development Initiative to unveil a comprehensive 5-year strategic plan focused on humanitarian development and peace building across the Bay States, Borno, Adamawa, and Yobe.
We come up with the 10 pillars, a strategic plan for the Yopodi for the next 5 years. As you can see, we expand we wanted to expand our operation to northwest, northeast, and some part of Nigeria. So that's the reason why we come up with this strategic plan.
So it's a strategy, honestly, that actually adopts the humanitarian development and peace building action and peace building nexus that to actually respond to the complex and multifaceted needs of those communities. It's a strategy that is being developed through a consultative approach with communities, with the government, with our colleagues in the civil society, and even experts within the international and agencies as well as the UN organizations.
Yobe State government officials reaffirmed their commitment through the recently launched Solutions for Internally Displaced Persons and Host Communities, or SOLID project, designed to facilitate the dignified return of all displaced persons.
Yobe State government considers partners, development partners, as strategic in the efforts of post-insurgency recovery initiative. And as such, whatever Yobe State government does, we do it in such a way that the livelihoods and of course the life support or support to our people, especially the internally displaced persons or those that are returning to their ancestral home, such things were done with dignity.
The strategic plan is actually a 3-year plan with targeting over 2.5 million people, out of which 50% are returnees. And the state government put in a lot of effort to see that how this can be fully established. Now, for issues of returnees, one of the issues based on the current data is the issue of housing land and properties, HLP, which is one of the critical areas. After they return, they left their ancestral homes, their farms have been encroached, their houses, and a lot of issues. Now, we set a kind of a community-based strategy under the HLP model, which is being chaired by FEMA, to see all these issues is being managed.
The 53-page document outlines a 10-point agenda with emphasis on gender and social inclusion, knowledge management, strategic partnerships, unity-based resource mobilization, livelihood programs, and empowerment.
The chairman of the House of Representatives Committee on FEMA, Aderemi Oseni, has emphasized the need for greater synergy and collaborative action between FEMA, contractors, and key stakeholders to ensure that the funds allocated by President Bola Tinubu for road infrastructure and maintenance deliver visible results across the country. The lawmaker made this known during an oversight visit to the Southeast Zone to assess key projects undertaken by that agency as captured in the budget. According to him, early detection and indication from project reports reflects commendable execution aligned with the renewed hope agenda of the president. Our Imo correspondent, Eito Kwekutei, reports.
Members of the House of Representatives Committee on FEMA, led by its chairman Aderemi Oseni, are in Imo State on an oversight function to inspect ongoing projects executed by the Federal Roads Maintenance Agency, FEMA. On arrival, the lawmakers hold a strategic meeting with FEMA officials to receive detailed briefings and clarifications on various projects listed for inspection as documented in their earlier submissions.
In Anambra State, we have total number of projects, 23. And out of that 23, 13 numbers are completed, while we have 4 ongoing projects. And out of the 23 projects in Anambra, 4 projects are yet to commence. In Enugu, we have total number of projects to be 15, and the number completed is 12. We have just 3 ongoing.
In the year 2024, we had appropriation that led to 13 projects, out of which we have 7 completed. 13. That's Imo State, out of which 7 has been completed, 3 are ongoing, and 3 are yet to commence. So we have 3 that are yet to commence out of the 13, and we have 7 that have completed their projects.
Responding to the presentation, the committee chairman acknowledges the agency's efforts, reiterates the committee's commitment to ensuring that every penny appropriated translates into visible infrastructure improvements.
Your reports will reflect to the headquarters where the expected support have not been given to you, so that the headquarters will be able to know how to equally escalate their challenges to the appropriate offices for the kind of support that is expected of them. Much is being spent on our legacy projects, and a lot of money is now being saddled to, some amount of money now being saddled to maintenance. Whatever that has been given to us, let's give a good account of it so that government will be able to release more to support the management of the agency. This is where you too can contribute.
The committee later inspects selected projects across Imo State. Speaking to journalists after the inspection, Mr. Oseni gives a fair assessment of the projects, applauding FEMA for demonstrating capacity and professionalism.
The section of work that have been done, the one that I'm just inspecting now, they demonstrated capacity, demonstrated clear professionalism in the area we have inspected. The only challenge I have is how you will be able to reconcile the area that have been done with the area that have not been done. So when you compare the area that have been done and what has not been done, you will almost conclude that we have not done anything. Because it is the concern of the federal government, particularly the President of the Federal Republic of Nigeria, to see road infrastructure, particularly existing roads, completely fixed.
The lawmakers also visit Anambra and Enugu states to inspect additional projects under FEMA's purview before concluding the oversight mission and returning to Abuja. This visit, no doubt, underscores the National Assembly's resolve to ensure strict compliance with project specifications, fiscal responsibility, and timely delivery of road infrastructure projects across the country.
Channel Television News.
Poor electricity supply in Cano metropolis is exacerbating the heat wave in the ancient city. While residents are lamenting the impact of the heat wave on health, businesses are also not finding it funny. Our correspondent Abubakar Salihu takes a look at the situation, explaining how inadequate electricity supply is worsening the effects in Cano.
Hospitals in Cano have recently noticed a surge in visitations due to heat-related illnesses like exhaustion, dehydration, malaria, and heat stroke, according to the State Ministry of Health. While advising the over 16 million residents of Cano on measures to take against the harsh weather condition, a medical practitioner at the Amini Kano Teaching Hospital also calls on relevant authorities to improve electricity supply.
We want to advise the general public that people should drink water as much as possible, 4 to 5 liters every day.
try as much as possible to stay out, avoid staying outside, especially at the time where the temperature is peak, usually between 1 o'clock, 12 noon to 1 o'clock to 4 p.m. So those who are outdoors should try to avoid staying outdoors as much as possible. On the part of government, availability of electricity, constant and consistent availability of electricity will go a long way in minimizing this effect.
In order to remain cool and hydrated from the heat wave, Cano residents rely on these vendors for their supply of cold drinking water. However, the cold water vendors who complained of county losses in recent times blame inadequate electricity supply for their plight.
Since after Ramadan fasting, the power supply has dropped drastically. Our businesses are affected. The electricity supply does not exceed 2 hours daily. Government should come to the aid of our businesses.
Beside the cold water business, the erratic electricity supply in Cano metropolis affect other businesses as well.
The perishables we trade on requires electricity to remain fresh. We need the relevant authorities to intervene on this.
Cano Electricity Distribution Company, KEDCO, the franchise in charge of Cano, Katsina and Jigawa states, who blames the inadequate power supply on system upgrade, assures that very soon the situation will improve for good.
We had issues with some of our injection substations that needed upgrade. Our core investor, Future Energies, have really invested in KEDCO in ensuring that our various customers across our franchise area get quality supply. And in doing that, of course, we have inherited, an old network. There is need for improvement, and that is what we decided to do within this set period. And our corporate communication, I think, did well in ensuring that, one, before we started, we told people that we are going to go on a network upgrade, so they should bear with us. And at a particular point in time, we sent another communique out and communication to our customers, telling them that we are almost done.
Although experts think the heat wave is linked to climate change, they, however, believe humans can adopt technology to mitigate its adverse effects. Abubakar Salihu, Channels Television News.
And staying in the northwestern region, we head to Zanfara State now, where as part of activities marking his second year in office, the Governor Dauda Lawal has commissioned the newly renovated and re-equipped General Hospital in Anka local government area of the state. Speaking at the commissioning ceremony, Governor Lawal says that the project demonstrates his administration's commitment to strengthening the healthcare sector across all 14 local government areas of the state.
As the series of events marking the second anniversary of Governor Dauda Lawal's administration continues, the governor on Saturday visits Anka local government area to commission the newly renovated and fully re-equipped General Hospital. The State Commissioner for Health, Dr. Nafisa Maradu, in her welcome address, notes that the upgraded facility will significantly improve access to healthcare for residents of Anka and its surrounding communities.
Since inception of this administration, out of passion of His Excellency for having standard health facilities across the state, took a marching step toward renovation and rehabilitation of all the facilities across the state. Renovating this facility will bring essential medical care closer to home and reduce the need for long journey to seek medical treatment, and this will improve the overall health outcome in the state.
On his part, the governor highlights key improvements made to the hospital.
All praise is due to Allah for the strength and opportunity to gather here in the city of Anka to celebrate yet another significant milestone in the rehabilitation of healthcare services and infrastructure in Zanfara State. The structures renovated include the following: GOPD Old Admin Block, Female Ward, Pharmacy Block, New Link Corridor and Emergency, that connect the Female Ward and X-ray, as well as the Theater Block, Maternity and Old Lab Ward, Antenatal Care ANC, a Theater Block, X-ray, Generator, gutter 2 blocks of 2-bedroom semi-detached house, as well as gutter 2-bedroom house, as well as also 2 blocks of pediatric wards. For the sake of humanity, Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim.
After commissioning the facility, the governor tours the premises to inspect the completed renovation works and newly installed medical equipment. The commissioning is one of several projects lined up to commemorate the governor's second year in office.
And now to company news. Stanbic IBTC Bank PLC says it will continue to support initiatives aimed at boosting the development of entrepreneurship right here in Nigeria. The chief executive of the bank, Wale Adeniyi, disclosed this during the Stanbic IBTC Bank PLC Orange Corners Partnership signing ceremony, which was held at the Netherlands Consulate General in Lagos.
With over 40 million SMEs in Nigeria, this collaboration between Stanbic IBTC Bank PLC and Orange Corners is seen as timely, as expected to boost the development of entrepreneurship across different sectors, targeting the youth population in the country. Dutch Ambassador for Youth, Education and Work, Julian Middelhoff, in welcoming the rest of the parties, thanks Stanbic IBTC Bank PLC for supporting this initiative, while the MD of the bank expresses delight in being part of this success story.
We can set the example, and then the scale has to be reached by finding other partners to join us on this journey. So in that regard, I cannot thank Stanbic enough for joining us and becoming the partner of the Orange Corners initiative. And I'm sure that many great successes will follow.
This is something that we are delighted to do in terms of this partnership. Our core social responsibility initiatives sits on education, health, and empowerment.
The SME subsector is a key driver of the Nigerian economy, and partnerships such as these will go a long way in changing the narrative by enabling young entrepreneurs create jobs.
So this system will educate them, drive financial literacy, and also ensure that their lives are renewed and jobs are created. And this will also flow down into various families. The multiples are endless.
When we support young people through the Orange Corners, our intent is, first of all, they come up with innovative business ideas and services for products, which they can then use to build scalable businesses.
It is believed that this agreement signed will enable would-be business persons in Nigeria to be part of the formal economy.
We're actually going to help to catalyze more entrepreneurs and also help the youth as well. And it goes with what we're doing with our SME businesses. We're going to be able to scale more, empower them more, and also provide access to financing that will actually help to support the economy.
It really helps entrepreneurs to become more professional and to be part of the formal economy. And we're very, very pleased that Stanbic IBTC is joining the program now to help us serve Nigeria better.
Stanbic IBTC Bank PLC says it is poised to create the next generation of business leaders, and that's the reason it teamed up with Orange Corners Nigeria, Fate Foundation, and the Kingdom of Netherlands to empower the next wave of Nigerian entrepreneurs with funding, mentorship, and business development tools.
And in business news, the federal government says 2.3 million households have been verified and cleared for payment under the ongoing conditional cash transfer program to help cushion the effects of economic reforms carried out by the President Bola Tinubu administration. The information was made known by the Director General of the National Identity Management Commission, Bisoye Kuka-Dushote, during a press briefing at the agency's headquarters in Abuja. She noted that the exercise, which is being revalidated on the National Social Register to ensure only eligible Nigerian families receive the payment as government palliatives. The revalidation comes amid concerns from the World Bank about the slow pace of implementation of the program following the removal of fuel subsidy and unification of the foreign exchange market. The conditional cash transfer program, which was launched in 2023, was supposed to reach 15 million families, but only 5.6 million, around 37%, have received at least one payment as of April 30th. And the Nigerian Ports Authority and the Lagos State government have embarked on a 3-day cleanup and sensitization operation to help decongest the state's port corridors. A statement from the NPA disclosed that the exercise aims to tackle security threats and environmental issues hindering smooth operations and pave the way for greater port efficiency. The statement stressed that the initiative also aligns with the International Ship and Port Facility, a security code measures developed by the International Maritime Organization to ensure the safety and security of ports worldwide. And the Securities and Exchange Commission is set to hold the first part of its quarterly Capital Market Committee meeting for this year in Lagos. A statement from the SEC says the meeting, which was earlier postponed from May the 9th, is now scheduled to hold on May 19th, with conversations around the recently passed and signed Investments and Securities Act, ISA 2025. According to the SEC, the meeting will bring together key stakeholders in the capital market to discuss the Investment and Securities Act 2025 as it relates to the industry's current landscape, regulatory framework, and strategies for future growth. And that's it from me in business. So back to Anne.
Thank you, Ladi. Nigeria's Chief of Air Staff, Air Marshal Hassan Abubakar, is advocating investment in research and development for homegrown solutions to emerging security threats in the country. The Chief of Air Staff made the call at the Nigeria Air Force Research and Development Commission in Abuja, which is part of activities lined up for the commemoration of the 61st anniversary of the Nigeria Air Force. According to him, research and development are critical to staying ahead of evolving threats to national security.
Welcome to Sports News. Jasmine Paulini produced a scintillating display as she blew away Coco Gauff in straight sets to end a 40-year wait for a home winner of the women's singles at the Italian Open. Rode on by a partisan crowd at the Foro Italico in Rome, Paulini triumphed 6-4 and 6-2 against Gauff of the United States. The 29-year-old was a surprise finalist at the French Open and Wimbledon last year, wrapped a victory on the clay in 1 hour and 29 minutes.
Hometown glory.
In football, Liberty is a fired Crystal Palace to their first ever trophy with a dramatic 1-0 victory over Manchester City in the FA Cup final. Palace ended their long waits for silverware and have qualified for the Europa League when it is a struck in the 16th minute before goalkeeper Dane Henderson escaped a red card for handball and then saved Umaru Mamrouche's penalty in an action-packed first half. Bayelsa Queens have emerged champions in the Nigerian Women's Football League for the 2024-2025 season. But the club achieved this feat after winning the Super 6 tournaments played in Ikenne, Ogun State. Bayelsa Queens beat Nigeria Tales 4-1 on day 5 to end the tournament with 10 points, the top sports which gave them the title. And Nigeria's Flying Eagles and host Egypt will both fight hard for the bronze medal when they clash in the third-place match of the ongoing Africa Cup of Nations in Cairo. Both teams were favorites to play in the final, but Results went the other way, and they're now due to play in the losers' final at the June 30 Air Defense Stadium in downtown Cairo. It's the 5th time that Nigeria will be playing for the bronze medal in this competition. And that's sports. I'm Kelly. Guys, back to Africa.
Thank you very much, Kelly. At least 9 people have been killed and others injured, 7 others actually, in a Russian drone attack on a civilian bus in northeastern Ukraine on Saturday morning. This attack took place in Bilopilia Sumy and mimicked bus traveling from the regional capital close to Russia's border. Officials are saying it happened just hours after 2 countries met for the first direct peace talks in 3 years. While the 2 sides discussed a possible meeting between both country leaders, a ceasefire, and agreed a prisoner swap, there was no major breakthrough, and since then, Russia's aerial assault has continued. Ukraine's President Volodymyr Zelensky says the attack was a deliberate killing of civilians. Although Russia has not responded to the claim, state media reports the defense ministry did strike a military staging area in Sumy with drones. And the main news again. The Northwest APC stakeholders met in Kaduna, where they endorsed President Bola Tinubu for a 2nd term in office. Speaking on behalf of the party during the meeting, Governor Obasani says the endorsement became necessary because of the president's visionary leadership. And that's the news at 10 tonight. Thank you so much for watching. I'm Anne Mwawodo. Enjoy the rest of the weekend. Good night.